Hey friends, imagine having $120 million at your fingertips, not to buy yachts or private islands, but to reshape the future of how humans live, work, build, and grow. What if I told you there's a new fund out there, not run by a government or multinational, but by a philanthropy group that's actively hiring people right now to rewire how our economy functions at its very core, and not in some abstract, long-term utopia kind of way. I'm talking about real, practical stuff, like lowering your rent, speeding up infrastructure projects, cutting down drug approval delays, and unblocking energy bottlenecks. This is what the Abundance and Growth Fund at Open Philanthropy is doing, and they're currently hiring 24 people for a new $120+ million program. That number will probably grow. But here's the kicker. They're not just looking for academics. They want builders, investigators, policy hackers, problem solvers, maybe even people like you. So let's unpack what this means for you, for America, and for how strategic philanthropy might be stepping in where slow-moving institutions have stalled. And if this kind of deep dive interests you, this is what we do here on Mr. America. So go ahead and subscribe for more calm, investigative stories the mainstream tends to gloss over. Now here's the mystery we're exploring today. Why are basic things like housing, energy, healthcare so expensive and inefficient in the US? And who's bold enough to fix it? The Abundance and Growth Fund believes we're hitting systemic bottlenecks, not because of a lack of money, but because of regulatory dysfunction, capacity failure, and frankly, a lack of courage to try new ideas. So they're stepping in with a new model, strategic grant-making backed by deep research. It's capitalism's brain meeting philanthropy's heart. What is the Abundance and Growth Fund? It's a new program under Open Philanthropy, which itself is funded by people like Facebook co-founder Dustin Moskovitz and his wife Carrie Tuna. Their mission has long been about impact maximization, not flashy charity, but rather funding things that can move the needle big time. The Abundance and Growth Fund is focused on making abundance real, not as a Silicon Valley slogan but through tangible things like faster construction of affordable housing, smarter energy grid transitions, clinical trial reform to lower drug costs, infrastructure without decade-long delays, and they're doing this through two types of roles. 1. Specialists. People deeply embedded in one or two policy domains, like housing or healthcare. 2. Generalists. Big-picture thinkers who can spot overlooked leverage points across sectors. Both roles are full-time, well-compensated, and deeply impactful. Now here's what's unusual about this hiring call. They're not looking for perfect resumes. They want curiosity, insight, and a track record of doing hard things. Maybe you've worked in city planning and felt blocked by bureaucracy. Maybe you've been inside hospitals and seen firsthand how clinical trials get bogged down. Or maybe you're a researcher who spent years quietly tracking how state capacity erodes. They want doers, not just thinkers. And if you've made it this far, maybe consider subscribing because we'll be tracking how this fund shapes new frontiers of American life. Let's go deeper. Why does this matter? Let's take housing. In San Francisco, the average rent is now $3.200 a month. That's more than many people's entire monthly income. Not because we don't have enough land or materials, but because local regulations and zoning laws have turned every new apartment into a bureaucratic nightmare. Or healthcare. The average drug takes 10-12 years to get from lab to pharmacy. In that time, thousands suffer, sometimes die, waiting. Why? FDA red tape, broken trial protocols, and risk-averse politics. Energy? We have the tech for clean energy. But try building a new solar farm or transmission line, and you're buried in permit hell. This is what Open Philanthropy wants to break, not through protests or speeches, but through strategic research, data, and funding. The fund believes that abundance isn't a dream. It's a choice, a policy choice, a regulatory choice, a mindset choice. And that means if we can target the right bottlenecks with data, insight, and funding, we can unlock massive growth without printing more money or taxing more income. In short, make the system work better, not bigger. And that's a very different lens from both the traditional left and the libertarian right. So let me ask you, what area do you think is the most broken right now? Housing, healthcare, energy, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear real-world stories from where you live. Zooming back out, why you should care: most job openings today promise just a paycheck, but these roles, They're inviting you to redesign the machine that drives our economy. If you're selected, you'll be working with a nimble, mission-aligned team, backed by serious funding, and trusted to think and act independently. No micromanagement, no buzzword bingo, just clear goals, deep research, and tangible output. You'll get to fund early-stage policy experiments, publish under-the-radar findings, influence public debate, and maybe, just maybe, change how Americans experience daily life. And hey, maybe this isn't for you directly, but you might know someone perfect for it. A friend frustrated in government, a startup founder with a public policy soul, a researcher ready for real-world impact. Send them the link, share this video. These opportunities don't come around often. Here's where you can apply. And be sure to read the full descriptions. They're refreshingly jargon-free. Final thoughts. Here on Mr. America, we believe that deep problems need deep dives. And this story isn't about one fund. It's about a growing movement of people rethinking what's possible when money meets mission, and bureaucracy meets urgency. It's a quiet revolution, not televised, not trendy, but real, measurable, hopeful. So if that resonates with you, maybe hit that subscribe button. And tell me in the comments, what's one system you'd redesign if you had $120 million to play with? Thanks for sticking with me. Until next time.